This is The Wire for 2200 Zulu, June 12th, 2025. Precedence is routine. Information cutoff is 2100. Bottom line up front. Commercial airliner crashes in India. 260 fatalities confirmed so far. Tensions continue in Middle East. Riots continue in Northern Ireland and the United States. Beginning with international events. In India this morning, Air India Flight 171 crashed shortly after takeoff from Ahmedabad. The aircraft impacted the student housing at BJ Medical College, a teaching hospital and large medical facility. Local authorities have claimed that there was only one survivor among the 242 souls on board. There is no confirmation on casualties sustained on the ground. However, locals have provided the figure of 260 casualties all total, both of those in the aircraft and on the ground. Aircraft debris is spread over a wide area throughout a densely populated region, so the casualty count is expected to rise as recovery efforts continue. In Northern Ireland, protests and riots alike continued throughout the region overnight, with locals continuing arson attacks on migrant centers. Yesterday afternoon, locals discovered that the family members of the migrants who assaulted a child, the incident that started all of this, were temporarily evacuated to a leisure center in Larne, which was promptly burned down by locals. Riots continued in Ballymena, and vandalism efforts have disrupted local train services as obstacles and fires were set on train tracks in a few locations around the area. In the Middle East, indications and warnings continue to mount regarding a potential war with Iran. The U.S. State Department continues to issue region-wide warnings, though no specifics have been provided regarding the potential threats. Analysts comment, considering all possibilities, the recent threat warnings issued by the White House could also be a ruse, specifically an ambiguity-decreasing information operation. In other words, it could be a trick to pressure the Iranians into making a deal with regards to their nuclear aspirations. Either way, it's a dangerous game, and increased vigilance is recommended in any case due to the uncertainty of how events might transpire over the next few days. On the home front in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott has ordered the deployment of approximately 5,000 National Guard soldiers in preparation for the mass demonstration events planned for this weekend. These forces will augment the thousands of local and state police which have been tasked with keeping order during the thousands of protests that will take place around the nation on Saturday. In California this afternoon, U.S. Senator Alex Padilla was arrested after attempting to disrupt a press conference at which DHS Secretary Kristi Noem was speaking. Senator Padilla resisted being removed from the room after causing the disruption and was subsequently arrested by force in the hallway outside the event. The senator was released shortly after the incident and as of yet has not been charged. In the United States this afternoon, a large-scale communications outage was reported throughout the nation. Cloudflare, Amazon Web Services, and Google Cloud all reported simultaneous issues with their platforms and services. Analysts comment, no cause of the outages has been reported. However, this is a major incident considering the timing of multiple independent systems going offline at the same time. Analyst comments for this wire. When it comes to the chaos and kinetic activities in Northern Ireland, there are two main lines of effort by involved parties. There are the ethnically Irish protesters turned rioters who have engaged in arson attacks in migrant communities in response to immigration issues. Separate from these incidents, looting has been observed taking place, which is largely being carried out by migrant communities themselves. This is complicating efforts to host legitimately peaceful demonstrations, as the situation in some areas is simply too chaotic to determine exactly what's going on. The situation in Northern Ireland has never been simple to describe, and it's been made worse by the establishment of migrant centers in local Irish communities. In India, right now, it's too soon to determine exactly what caused the crash of Flight 171. However, local media claims that a mayday call was issued by the pilots immediately after takeoff, though in the short time between the call and the crash, it's not clear what might have happened. Video footage from shortly before the crash also indicates that the aircraft's flaps were fully retracted, which is very abnormal for any aircraft on takeoff, let alone a very heavy, long-haul flight fully laden with passengers and fuel. This concludes The Wire for 2200 Zulu, June 12, 2025.